Hello and welcome to Golf News Straight Back. Today it was India against Bangladesh in the Super 12 Group 2 clash. Bangladesh was set a revised target of 151 in 16 overs after rain stopped play in Adelaide. And in the end, it was India that won by 5 runs. Sham, that was a thriller, wasn't it?
It sure was. Again, one of those matches we went down to the last ball. At one point, it looked like Bangladesh was ahead when that rain interruption came. They were actually 17 runs ahead, and everything was in their favor. But as soon as the match resumed, the whole complexion changed, especially with the dismissal of Litton actually. And I think the panic swept into the Bangladesh ranks, and they scrambled for quick runs. They lost a heap of wickets, and that settled it, I think.
Satish, what did you make of that? Did you enjoy that game?
Wow, that's a brilliant game, and I think Bangladesh always saves the best for India. I think because this is the second time, 2016 when they played again. It was a last ball thriller. I remember when Dhoni came running and took the bails off. I still remember that in Bengaluru. This one, I still feel rain helped India in a way because had Litton continued for another few more overs, he would have probably taken the match straight away from India, the way he was striking. And unfortunately, the rain came and he lost his momentum. And it was always difficult for somebody who's already in top gear to again hit the top gear immediately because that's what he would expect. And the conditions have changed. The weather, the rains must have made the pitch a little bit soggy. And then the wet ball, everything put together. But here, what has happened is he couldn't find the footing. So he was run out of a direct hit from the deep, which was quite, again, lucky for India. At one point of time, the luck was against India when Karthik dropped Litton when he was 27. And I think a couple of balls earlier, the ball fell a little short when he took the catch. So at that point of time, the luck was with Bangladesh. After rains, it turned and it was helping India a lot at that point of time because those kind of runouts you probably get once in 10 times or maybe once in 20 times. So
yeah, the rain really caused a major disruption today. It was unfortunate because India had started really well. They set Bangladesh a huge target. Sham, were you impressed with Rahul's brilliant 50 from 32 balls? He got India off to a flying start, didn't he?
Yes, indeed, and he made me eat my words because yesterday I was calling for Rahul's ouster, and actually today I ended up with egg on my face, really. Because yes, the thing is about Rahul is when he gets going, he is such a joy to watch. It's so effortless the way the shots he plays, and this was one of his super innings, and you could see the way he was toying with the bowling really. So it was a joy to watch him play those effortless shots.
But Satish, I think he was overshadowed, wasn't he, by Virat Kohli, who clearly now looks to be in getting into his back to the best of what we know that how he can play. How impressed were you with his unbeaten not today, Satish?
I think Virat's role has been little changed because thanks to KL Rahul or Rohit Sharma or Surya Kumar Yadav or Pandya, I think Virat is now playing the pivotal role where he stays there for a longer time. He takes his time, picks his gap and plays those proper cricketing shots. And the others try their luck and then they go after the bowling. And in the process, when he has to final overs, he shifts gear, which he can do anytime. And this is what he has been doing in the last 2 games, and this is exactly what he did today as well. But today, I felt initially he was not getting his timing, though Adelaide was his favorite ground. But after a point of time, to be precise, after KL Rahul's exit, Surya Kumar Yadav came in and they had a 38-run partnership of which Surya Kumar got 30 runs. So that eased Kohli's nerves. He started playing a normal game, and then from then on, he took off and played a brilliant knock, which is, I think, now this tournament is all about Kohli. I think he wants to prove a point that he is still not a spent force.
So, Sham, you think he's got a point there to prove? He's got what? That's his third 50, I think, in the tournament so far. He's clearly playing like he does.
I don't think he's got a point to prove because we know what Kohli is capable of. It's just that he has to return to his scoring form, and which we knew it will come, but it. But the only problem was it was getting far too delayed. It took him nearly 3 years to get into that scoring vein. So, but when it came, the runs are just flowing. It's like a run glut actually. So ever since that Asia Cup, he's not looked back actually. So the 350 is already out of 4 innings in this World Cup. Amazing. So he's back to his
not out.
best.
All three not out, Shyam. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, go
yeah,
for it.
he's
Sorry,
been doing really well. No, that's okay, Satish. So let's start from the beginning. Bangladesh chose to bowl, and in fact, India's captain Sharma said that he would have liked to have batted. So it worked out well for both of them. And we know how good Thaksin Ahmed has been for Bangladesh. He's got 8 wickets, I think, in his last 4 games. He didn't get any wickets today, but again, he was really good. No wickets, but only 15 runs conceded, Sharm. How impressed have you been with his bowling?
Oh, he's been a standout in this tournament. Actually, this is every single game he's played. Taskin has been very, very impressive. Today he was distinctly unlucky not to get wickets, but otherwise every match he's been getting wickets. And he's not a new bowler. He's been around for some time. But the thing is, he's improved so much in this World Cup, and this condition suits him. And you can see how he's used the conditions beautifully. Actually, he is certainly one of the finds in this World Cup.
Yeah, he's been doing it. He'll be disappointed he didn't get the wicket of Rohit Sharma, who was dropped on, I think, just 1 run. And instead of going on, Satish, for him to get, how batsmen do, they get that second chance and they go on to score 20, 30, 40, 50s even. Sharma was out for just 2, so he'll be very disappointed he didn't make the most of that lifeline, won't he?
See, that's the way he's playing these days, Imran. I think the openers either they wanted to either play a defense or that's exactly the problem for the Indian team. They are not looking at rotating the strike, either hit or miss. That kind of an approach they are having. I think Rohit Sharma is bound to get 1 score very shortly, probably next game against Zimbabwe, because he's that kind of a player where he likes to hit the ball hard and likes to control the game better. So, in a way, I think after Rohit Sharma left, Rahul started playing better in the company of Kohli. So I don't know what the logic was, but he started hitting the ball well. So in that sense, I don't think the Rohit Sharma not getting runs is going to be a matter of concern. Yes, but he's a player again like Rahul. He is too good a player to not score runs for a long time. It's only a matter of time he scored. But coming back to Bangladesh tactics today, I was a little surprised because Bangladesh bowled all the main bowlers, Saqib Al Hasan, Taskin, Mustafizur, almost 11 of the 12 overs, they bowled 11 overs before the 15th over. I was quite shocked with the way they approached it, because you keep your best for the last. But I get a strong feeling that they were playing with the rain in quotient, maybe, because
absolutely, that's the only explanation.
Where some things were not really saying it, but you have to understand, Sridharan Sriram, who's one of the coaching staff in Bangladesh, was with Australia for 7 long years. So he knows a bit about Australia. He stayed there. He's been there with them. So maybe he gave a little insight to that, and it worked until the rain came in, but after that it collapsed, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we have to speak about the Bangladesh openers, Najmal Hussain Shanto, and especially Litton Das. They knew what they needed to do. Initially, they were set a target of 185. They had to put India's bowlers under pressure. And, well, Das sure did that. He was smashing those 4s and 6s, and he was seeing the cricket ball like it was a beach ball. I think it was that clear for him. He was really playing really well. And Sharma, it was just the start that Bangladesh needed, wasn't it?
Exactly. I mean, if they had to make a match of it, they had to go hard in the power play. So, and this is exactly what they did. They were scoring at 10 and over. And they needed to keep that pace. My only worry was the moment, because if you look at the other opener, that is the Najmal Hussain, he was in 3 or something when Litton had reached around 60 or so. But when you have such disparity in scoring, the trouble is the guy who is leading the chase, if he gets out, then the chase collapses. That is precisely what happened in Bangladesh case. If Najmal also had a handy role in the chase, then it would have been easier. But now that Litton was singularly leading the chase, and he when he gets out, and the rest of them collapse, and which is a tragedy actually, because given the chase, because they were at 68 for one, which is incredible, like in a chase like this, especially in an Australia or a wicket where it's seaming. In fact, they took the swing and seam out of the equation because the first over of for Arshdeep went for 12 runs, and because I think they targeted him simply because he was the main wicket taker for India. So they did everything right until the rain.
Actually,
Yeah,
Imran,
Satish,
just to
let's
add
bring
to
Satish. Yeah,
just
I'm
to
just
add
going to
to
bring you
Shyam's
in there.
point. Yeah, actually, if you look at if the match had not started again, Bangladesh should have won. They were looking for rain. Unfortunately, the rain was strong enough to stop the match from getting halted at that point of time. So they had their homework right, and they went with a plan. Unfortunately, the rain was not strong enough for the match to be halted there. So when they came back, it was a different scenario.
Yeah, I mean, that rain really changed the whole
17
complexion
runs
of
they
the
were
game.
ahead at that point of time in Duckworth-Lewis. That's where the target also became 151. Otherwise, it would have been probably 165 or 170 or 160, something else like that. So, but this, without losing a wicket, 67 no loss in 7 overs, brilliant effort. That brought the match even closer to them after the rain.
Brought it really close, but that rain effect really had unfortunately, effect on Das, who was flying before then. He was going all guns blazing, and like you guys are saying, you know, it could have been a totally different picture if the heavens didn't open up like that. Because after that rain break, Bangladesh's innings just completely collapsed, didn't it?
Yeah, true.
Absolutely, and especially the Das dismissal did a lot of damage because none of the other batsmen could sustain the same pace of scoring. Like I said, if Najmal Hossain was scoring well also from the other end, maybe things would have been different. But the thing is, after the rain, none of them could really up their scoring rate. They tried. I mean, it's not for want of trying, but the thing is, when you chance your arm, there's always a risk of getting out, and that's precisely what happened.
I mean, Satish, it was a real shame to see Das the way he was run out. He only faced 2 balls, I think, after the restart. He hurt his hand, I think, in the first ball, and then in the second ball he slipped.
Running.
And
that's also
that's
while
right.
running.
Yeah, yeah. And then unfortunately he was run out, and you could see how disappointed he was. I mean, you really have to feel for the guy, don't you, for him to go in the way that he did.
Absolutely. Again, this was lucky, and again he couldn't get his footings right, so he slipped. That's why he was a bit short. But here I have to credit Indian team. The fielding was spot on today after the break. Initially they dropped a few. The fielding was not up to the mark, but after the rain break, when they were literally driven up against the wall, so then they really came up with the best performance on the field, and in fact, it was the fielding that won the match for them, if I may say so, because they took some very good catches, very difficult ones under the dark skies, under the lights, but they didn't put a foot wrong after that in fielding. Where in the previous matches they dropped so many, including the one against South Africa, it was chalk and cheese, like 2 extremes. Whereas sitter was dropped there. Whereas here they took some very good catches, and that's what they have to do regularly.
That's a very good point, Satish. In fact, because I mean, considering the wet outfield as well, you would have thought that a lot of those catches could have slipped out of their hands. But Sham, they hung on to those this time, didn't they? That was quite impressive from them.
Absolutely, because they didn't drop anything after the break, actually. So that really helped them because they needed to hold on to those catches to apply pressure, and that's precisely what happened. All the catches were held, and all the wickets fell, and Bangladesh could make much headway.
But Satish, I mean, clearly the pitch was very wet. You could see that the outfield was very wet. Should the umpires have waited just a little bit longer for it to dry off? I mean, was it even safe to play on?
No, the wicket was not wet. The outfield was slightly damp, yes, but with the spikes on, these are conditions which are we can play on those conditions. It's not a dangerous, a difficult condition. It was difficult condition, not a dangerous condition. That's why the umpires started the game. Otherwise, they wouldn't have started the game at all. So the pitch there was covered even before there was a drop of rain. So that way the pitch was not wet. But yes, of course, when you're running around, when you're walking around, that dampness will come in on the pitch, and the ball also it'll be wet. So these are some of the things that happened. But the pitch was not wet in terms of real wet. It was not affected by the rain at all because it was well covered and the groundsmen were quick in their job.
Yeah. Okay, well done to India. They have now got 6 points and they top the group. Bangladesh are going to be relying on other results if they want to make it to the semi-final stage. Tomorrow, there's only one match. It's Pakistan against South Africa. South Africa will be looking, I think, to exploit the poor form that the Pakistan team is currently in. If they lose, they're going to be sent home, I believe. Sham, it's a massive match for Pakistan. How do you see that one going tomorrow?
It's a difficult one to call here simply because South Africa are perhaps the best performing team in the World Cup right now. They have not lost a single match. Now, as for Pakistan, this is a must-win match for them. Right now their prospects doesn't look good, but if they lose their match, they're pretty much out of the tournament. So, which means they will be coming out with all cylinders firing. So that will make for a good match. So, who will win? It's a difficult call. I would say on the strength of the form, my pick could be South Africa.
Oh, Sham is predicting an early exit for the Pakistan team. Satish, South Africa were one of the dark horses to in the lead up of the tournament to do really well. And like Sharma said, they've been playing really well with the bat and the ball. How impressed have you been with South Africa?
South Africa still, I'm not very convinced in the sense only a couple of batsmen are performing there. So you cannot depend on two batsmen or 2.5 batsmen to win you matches every time. So that's where I feel tomorrow Pakistan will have an edge because Pakistan bowling is brilliant. They don't let you attack the way they did to India. In fact, even India had them on the mat despite a small score. So I think South Africa has got a great bowling unit, but their batting is a bit suspect. I strongly feel that the Pakistan bowlers are strong enough because Pakistan probably have one of the best bowling attacks and they can come up with something spectacular. And believe me, like last time also when Pakistan was almost out, they went on to win the World Cup in '92. So when they are under pressure, when they are really up against the wall, they come up with a better performance. So I would probably give Pakistan an edge tomorrow's game than South Africa, and that makes it even more interesting contest if Pakistan win. So then Pakistan will be up against Bangladesh in the last game. Of course, South Africa and India will have a slightly easier opponents in Netherlands. South Africa will play Netherlands, whereas India will play Zimbabwe. But still, the group will be open with a lot of combination till the last game on Sunday.
Yeah, there'll be lots of twists and turns, I believe. Like Satish has just said, there'll be lots of things to look forward to. I think that's all for today, guys. In the meantime, everybody head on to golfnews.com for all the latest news and reviews, and check out our social media channels for plenty more great content. That's all from us. Thank you very much, and good night.